Happy Halloween, everyone, and, something's not right. I think it's, this. I don't even fit on the screen anymore. Yes, I am Linguini from Ratatouille, let's move on. But it's a cute costume. But anyways, let's get into today's video. Happy Halloween. I have 10 really fun movies to watch on Halloween. Not necessarily the best, but these are just 10 movies that I picked out that I would personally, myself, enjoy watching these on Halloween. If you like these kind of videos, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more. I appreciate every single one of you. Let's get into the video. This is only in last place because it's pretty short and not necessarily a movie, but it's a great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. This was always a fun little thing to watch on Halloween as a young kid, and surprisingly really funny the more you get older. I mean, the best joke from it is the fact that Charlie Brown got a rock instead of candy for Halloween. That's so funny. But anyways, like I said, this was always just a fun and comfort film to watch as a young kid, and you know, it's still a fun one to watch. I love watching all the holiday episodes of Charlie Brown, like the Christmas one, the Thanksgiving one, the 4th of July one, this one. They're all so fun to watch. But now getting into the movies, I have Rear Window, which is Alfred Hitchcock's movie about a man across the street who takes his camera out and witnesses some pretty dark things across the street. It's a really well-paced film. It's one of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock films. I haven't seen all of Alfred Hitchcock movies, but I've seen enough to be able to say that it's one of my favorite of his. But yeah, Rear Window is a really great, thrilling suspense movie that has a lot of good acting and honestly, just a really fun and suspenseful story. Next on this list, I have The Ring, which I actually have some personal experience watching this on Halloween because I think I watched it on Halloween like, I don't know, 10 years ago for the very first time. And I watched it with a group of friends because I was having a Halloween party, and I plopped this one in thinking that, you know, hey, it looks scary. And I ended up scaring everyone half to death. That scene with that teenage girl in the closet in which she like is completely dead and then like her head drops, that scars people's minds. I mean, The Ring is so underrated. I think this movie is great and really scary. I know it's a Hollywood remake of a Korean film has the same exact name and the same exact plot. I never personally watched that movie, but I really like The Ring. I think it's really scary. I think it has a really nice story. I think it moves along really well, but overall, we're not watching this for great storytelling. We're watching this for scares because it's Halloween. And this movie scares the hell out of me every single time I watch it. I really hope you're taking me serious even though I'm wearing this chef hat, but let's get on to the next movie. Next on this list, I have Get Out. I promise I will actually be getting into movies that center around Halloween, but these are great horror movies to watch on Halloween despite not having any sort of correlation to the holiday. But Get Out is Jordan Peele's directorial debut in which he has now made 3 horror films. Get Out is, I still think, the best of the 3 films, but Get Out is a fantastic movie with some stellar writing. It's about this guy, Chris, whose girlfriend really wants him to meet her family, so they end up going on a trip to meet her family. But as soon as he gets there, he starts to see some pretty unordinary stuff that's happening around this house and family. And eventually things go south and he has to try to find a way to get out. Get Out had a budget of $4.5 million. And yes, I'm saying that as if that is a small budget because considerably to other films that were being made, $4.5 million is not that big of a budget. And the fact that Get Out made such an incredible impact on storytelling and the way you can go about doing things to make something compelling is fantastic. Jordan Peele really changed the game as far as horror movies go. All right, so now we're getting into more Halloween-driven movies, so let's get into them. A Nightmare on Elm Street is a good one to watch on Halloween. It's about this guy that says bitch a lot, and he shows up in your dreams to kill you, but when he kills you in your dream, you die in real life. Now, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies have really gotten horrible over the years. We haven't even seen one for a long time, but all the Nightmare on Elm Street films after the first one are all terrible. A Nightmare on Elm Street is not even that amazing of a movie, but it's a really nice one to watch on Halloween. Next on this list, I have Beetlejuice, which I feel a lot of you have already watched this year because Beetlejuice is now out in theaters, which I thought was an okay movie. I personally like Beetlejuice way more, but yeah, Beetlejuice is a really fun one to watch on Halloween. I mean, the overall aesthetic of Tim Burton's vision and the costumes and the makeup, I mean, it all just screams Halloween. Next, I have A Nightmare Before Christmas, which showed up on one of my previous videos where I went through 10 movies to watch in the fall season, so make sure to go check that one out too. But yeah, The Nightmare Before Christmas, a really, really fun movie. Aesthetically pleasing with the stop motion animation and the overall connection to Halloween and Christmas. This is a sort of any season kind of movie, but you can either watch this around Halloween or Christmas, and it really works well on Halloween. Over the years, The Nightmare Before Christmas has sort of created a cult following around Jack Skellington as a character and just the overall vibe of this movie, because yes, it is a really, really, really pretty movie to watch with the stop motion animation like I mentioned before. And this movie actually last year, I think it had its 30-year anniversary, so that's crazy. Next, I have Hereditary, which arguably is one of my all-time favorite horror films. I think these next 3 movies are definitely in my top 5 horror movies of all time, but Hereditary did stand at ground for being my favorite horror movie for a couple years, so I might have to revisit it pretty soon. I'm making this video, I should probably watch it. But anyways, Hereditary is a fantastic movie. Ari Aster's directorial debut is beautiful. Now yes, Ari Aster has made some short films in the past. I mean, he's made some pretty messed up short films, but anyways, Hereditary is fantastic. It dives into family trauma and just, it's really, really scary. I think I remember watching the movie for the first time, and the scene that really scared me was the scene where the son was sitting on his bed with his busted up nose, and in the very corner of the room, it's really hard to notice, but you can see the mom like Spider-Maning in the corner. And I remember watching that scene and just like, am I not supposed to see this? What's she gonna do? Like, I was just, it was creepy. And that pretty much sums up that entire movie. That's kind of how it goes throughout the whole entire thing. It's shocking, it's horrifying, it's violent. I love Hereditary. But these next 2 films, I think, are the pinnacle of Halloween movie watching experiences. Next, I have The Shining, which I actually rewatched a couple days ago, and oh my gosh, I forgot how creepy that movie is. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's super scary. I think there are a lot of people that would find that movie super scary. I think it's more creepy than anything because of the score, the acting. It's so creepy. Jack Nicholson, I think, gives one of his best performances as Jack Torrance in that movie. And I think it's one of the best scores ever written. I mean, the score in this movie, although at some points it does get kind of repetitive when they reuse the same score for certain scenes, but overall, the score, along with the acting, it is so creepy. It's so creepy, but it's such a great watch too. It has such a good story. You're with these characters. You really feel the isolation with them living in this hotel. And actually, I had a conversation with my girlfriend after watching the movie, and we were talking about how nice it would be to have like a whole entire hotel like to ourselves. And I was like, yeah, yeah, it would be, but in the grand scheme of things, like, just think about it. Like, just imagine being in a hotel that big and it being abandoned, and you're by yourself with like one other person. All I would be able to think about is like, if I go down a hallway and look straight down that hallway and there's so many rooms, I'm just like, how do I not know that there's like not someone in one of those rooms? Like, I would always think that there is like something lingering on in the background. In theory, yes, it would be really, really fun to be in an empty hotel room or a hotel like that, but also really, really, really scary. But this brings us to the last movie. Again, this was not the best horror movie list or the best movies to watch on Halloween. These are just movies that I would personally watch on Halloween, so I hope you've enjoyed this list, but let's get into the #1 spot for this video. Halloween! Of course, Halloween would be like a really good movie to watch on Halloween. And no, I'm not talking about the 2018 remake, which is actually a fine movie. I actually like that movie. I hate the next 2, but that's actually a pretty good sequel to a classic. But Halloween 1978 is the superior film. John Carpenter clearly had a vision for this movie, considering that he only got a budget of $300,000, which at the time equates to around 1.4 million in today's money, which for a big movie like that is still a super low budget. And due to that low budget, the prop department, when coming up with the design of Michael Myers and giving him a mask, they couldn't make a mask from scratch. So they went ahead and got a William Shatner mask from Star Trek, and then made the eye holes a little bit bigger. I think they painted the hair and they painted the face completely white, and that was the Michael Myers mask. And to be honest, one of the most effective prop designs in movie history. I mean, just think of how crazy that is. Think about how iconic of a character Michael Myers is. Think about how iconic this movie is. And his mask was just something that everyone could have bought in a Halloween store, a William Shatner mask. And no, the mask from the 2018 movie was not the same one used in the 1978 movie. It wasn't even a William Shatner mask that was remade for the 2018 movie. I think they just made a completely new mask that they try to make look like the William Shatner mask. But it's just amazing to think about how incredible this character is, considering how simple his design is, but the story is super effective. And no, it's not a gruesome movie. I mean, when you think about the idea of it, about, the boogeyman, killing babysitters, yes, that is a gruesome topic, but it's not bloody. I mean, there are a couple slashes and, there are a couple bloodstains on shirts, but it's nowhere near as violent as the next iterations of the character, in which pretty much almost every single Halloween movie after Halloween 1978 are trash, except for I've heard good things about Halloween 2. I've never personally watched it, but the only other good Halloween movie that I can think of is Halloween 2018. I think the Rob Zombie films are atrocious. I don't understand some of the hype that it's been getting recently. I think those movies are terrible, but I think Halloween 1978 is one of the best, I will say, one of the best Halloween movies to watch on Halloween. That'll be the end of this video. I hope I influenced you to watch either one or two or all of these movies on Halloween with your best friends, or even by yourself. Who cares? Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of it. I appreciate every single one of you. But remember, your movie moment is right around the corner. See you in the next video.